All right, welcome. This is actually the first Run with Rob bonus training we got here. So if you're watching this, that means you're part of Run with Rob. Unless we've offered this as a special extra training. Every so often we take some of these trainings we do from the 10 times legend trainings or boot camps or Run with Rob, and we offer them as specials or bonuses. So you could be just joining from that. But this is the very first official Run with Rob. So I appreciate all of you. It's so fun working with you on a personal basis, having that daily coaching with you. I know some days there's a lot, some days there's a little bit, but it's that strategizing. It's bouncing those ideas off each other because you never know which idea, which accountability, right? Which execution makes all the difference. And I'm just excited to introduce one of my best friends, Coach Brian Fryer. He's a top level leader. And what I mean by that is he's done both. He's one of the few that's had a ton of success on the distributor side. So he's seen what works and what doesn't work. So he's not just teaching you things that he thinks are theories or ideas. And then he transitioned years ago into coaching because there was just a need and a demand. And so many people kept asking for his advice and his help. And so he transitioned there, and now him and I joke around that we're learning more than we've ever learned because all the top level leaders that we're coaching, they're sharing their secret sauce, top tips and insights with us. So even though we're coaching them, we're just like, whoa, that was good. Thanks for sharing that with us. So Coach, I know we got a ton of good things to talk about today, and we've gone over and the topic, we've gone over different things of what would provide the most value for this audience to help them out, because people that are watching this training are pretty serious about their business and they want things, as you know, they can execute now, not ideas or theories that someday you could do this. They want ideas and theories. So thanks so much for making the time and coming on here and providing so much value. I'm excited to take notes. I'm excited to learn from you as well, and for you to give my audience some of your top insights and strategies and tips.
Yeah, buddy. Run with Rob crew. What's up? What's up? Hey, buddy, man, I just appreciate you so much. So grateful for your friendship and mentorship these last couple of years. We've grown the last couple of years, shared so many thoughts, ideas, impacted tens of thousands of folks, and I'm honored to be here. I want to address your audience here real quick and just tell you guys that, can you guys give Rob some love? I mean, just the time, energy, effort he's putting into serving and mentoring and helping each and every one of you. Created this private, exclusive environment just for you guys. You guys do me a huge favor, and whether you're watching, depending upon where you're watching this, just give him some love. Maybe shoot him a message after you watch this training, or a text message or a Facebook message, and just tell him thank you and how much you appreciate him. Rob, I'm super excited to be here, man. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, it's one of those things. We understand that collaboration's the new competition, and so you and I are always just sharing our latest and greatest ideas and learning from each other. So it's a ton of fun as we just keep on this journey, right, of learning the latest and greatest tips and strategies and what works and what doesn't work. So tell us a little bit, what's working right now?
Yeah, buddy. Well, it's a big secret, and you and I know the secrets, and I'm excited to share a sneak peek with your folks today. Robert, we've talked about lots of different things we could share with this crew today, but I think you and I, we agree that they need something that's next level. They need something that's simple, and they need something that they can go implement literally as soon as this training is over. And so, today I'm excited to share what I call my famous C3 formula, right? Some people are like, C3, what the heck does that stand for, Coach? Well, in English, it's basically a simplified way to recruit more people into your business. And now you guys are like, oh yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, whatever that is, give us some of that. That's what we want. That's cool. So what does C3 stand for? Well, if you're taking notes, it stands for curiosity, connect, and close, right? I know many of you out there are probably out there, you're prospecting, you're doing a little bit of marketing to generate some leads, some interest. This is strictly on the marketing side. So whatever you're doing prospecting wise, whatever Rob's teaching you prospecting wise, keep doing that, right? This isn't going to replace that. This is in addition to. This is the marketing side of using social media specifically to generate more leads, new conversations, more customers, more sales, more signups, right? And so let's just dig right in. Let's start with number one. For those of you taking notes, the first part of the formula is curiosity, right? So write curiosity. Rob and I agree heavily on this particular style of building, right? When it comes to building on social media. We're not the biggest fan of saying company name, company products all over our posts, all over our videos, especially not up in our cover photos and not our replicated website link in our bios. We're bigger fans of you creating a little bit of curiosity, almost encouraging and forcing someone to reach out to you personally, right? To learn more about your product, to learn more about your business. I like to say that, would you rather someone go to Google, for example, to figure out all the details about your product, the price points, all things about your company, whatever, let alone, let's be honest, what people find on the internet nowadays, especially around our incredible profession of network marketing, sometimes it's not always the best publicity. And it's not even from people in our profession, right? It's from critics and haters and naysayers or whatever. So my question for you guys today is, would you rather your potential prospect, someone who's interested in a product or a business, would you rather them get their information about your products or business from the interwebs out there on internet land? Because everything on the internet's true, right? Come on, okay? Or would you rather them be almost forced to reach out to you personally, have a conversation to where now you can control the conversation. You can control what you're sharing about your product. You can control about questions you're asking them about what problems they're having. You can control the questions about your particular company and opportunity. I think it's unanimous, and the tens of thousands of folks we've been able to share, this information with, they're like, no, I'd like to control that conversation, right? It's a no-brainer, right? So when it comes to curiosity, I'm a big fan of you learning how to create curiosity in your posts, in your videos, to have folks raise their hand, give you permission now to share with them more about what you have to offer. Rob, just real quick, I'll kick it back to you. We're going to kick back and forth.
Yeah.
Dig into the curiosity post formula. Let's just elaborate on this. Curiosity.
I just think so many times people misinterpret. They think it's because you're embarrassed or you're trying to hide. And I look at it, it's like giving the preview to the movie. And you're not giving the movie, you're giving the preview of the movie. And so many people are like, well, if you're excited, like, why would you just not, share and be proud? Because people are buying from you, and they're buying the results. They're buying the potential results. And as much as they may like you, right, we're talking about what works is what duplicates. Well, you may say, well, you have enough credibility that if you're excited about it and people trust you, they're going to buy from you anyways. Well, what about your newest person that maybe is learning how to do this that doesn't quite yet have the credibility? Okay, so you got to think about them. Now, are there exceptions? Of course there are exceptions. If you're doing it and your team's absolutely crushing it, and your company's been doing it, I can think of only a few, probably right now off the top of my head, maybe two, that it's worked well. But I'm cautious in even giving the exceptions because then too many people think they are the exception. Just play the whole thing out. Are more people going to buy from me because I plastered the company name? I wasn't going to buy before, but now since this is company Super Galactic Star, oh, well, now I'm totally buying. Or on the opposite side, no one's buying now all of a sudden because they heard the company name. No one. But on the other side, how many people are going and they're going to go research and find bad crap? Because, the greatest companies in the world go research bad crap on Amazon and on Apple. And you're going to go find it. You can find anything and everything on anything that's relevant. You're going to find the good and the bad. So it's just simplifying it for you of you want to give enough that they want to know more, but not too much that you've quenched it, that they feel like they can make their educated decision based off of who knows what, false information. So love it.
Love it. Let's do it. So for those taking notes, let's talk about curiosity. And I want to give you my simple 3-step process to creating a good curiosity post. So C3 formula, curiosity, connect, close. We're going to dig into step 1, the curiosity part of this, right? And inside this curiosity window, I guess you could say, is I feel, a simple 3-step process to make a great curiosity post, okay? Step number 1 with a great curiosity post is gratitude. Let me ask you guys a question. When it comes to social media and you thinking about all the friends and family members you have, the followers that you're connected to, are you more attracted to someone? Are you more likely to read someone's post who is all about themselves, flashing their money, flashing their cars, flashing their mansions, flashing their ranks, flashing their titles, flashing all this stuff, right? Or are you more attracted to and more likely to read someone's post who is humble, who is expressing how thankful they are? You can just tell there's someone who's grounded. They could be faith driven, but they don't have to be. Someone who's just more reserved and is more showing appreciation and recognition, and you can just tell in their tone, in their voice, what type of person they are. I think it's unanimous that we would say we're attracted to someone who's more along the lines of being humble and is grateful and shows appreciation just naturally, right? Because unfortunately nowadays I think the percentage is shrinking, but those who are out there just boasting on themselves every 5 seconds, they're almost repelling more people away from them. People start to despise them. They start to look at them and think, oh, they got a big ego. They're all about themselves. That's definitely not someone I want to buy something from, let alone do business with. And so I think step number 1 in a great curiosity post is somehow incorporating gratitude, okay? Second, okay, I'll give these 3, then I'll kick it to you, Rob, okay? Second is a problem, okay? Here's the biggest mistake I see network marketers making today. When they do a curiosity post, they list out multiple problems, right? You guys have all seen the post. Hey friends, let me ask you a question. Are you struggling with, and then it's like a freaking laundry list, of 47,000 different problems. And then at the end, it's like, if by chance you struggle with any of those things, right? I'd love to see how I can help you. And it's like, no. You guys are missing the point, right? That's the example of throwing mud on a wall, hoping it sticks. I've got 500 Facebook friends. They've all got to be dealing with one of these 46,000 different things. Hopefully they'll message me and they'll buy my product because that's what they need, okay? Here's a huge nugget for you guys, okay? You want to focus on one particular problem per curiosity post. So for example, if you've got a product that maybe helps people sleep better, for example, right? Okay, focus on that one problem. People who struggle sleeping through the night. That's one problem. Create one post around that one problem. Now you're targeted one specific individual who struggles with sleeping at night, for example, that you could potentially help with the product you have. Right? So powerful. Here's a quick bonus tip. If you're like, oh my gosh, this is genius, this is great. Here's a little exercise you guys can do. Okay, get out a piece of paper. Okay, just a big old piece of paper. Draw a line down the middle. Okay, draw a line down the middle. On the top left, you're going to put product problems. And I want you to just make a laundry list of all the single problems that your potential customers are dealing with out there that you could create a curiosity post or even a live video around, okay? So you're literally making 25, 30 different ideas for you to create a piece of content. Pretty powerful. On the right-hand side up at the top, put problems and then put business. What are people struggling with financially? Right? Or something along those lines to where your business could help them. List all those things out, right? Now you've got literally probably 3, 4, 5, 6 months worth of content that you can create curiosity posts around. One problem per curiosity post. Lastly, the third part of a great curiosity post, I feel, is alluding to the benefits. Not necessarily of your product. You don't have to say your product, but alluding to the benefits of maybe something you're now using that's helping with that. Something that a friend of yours tried that is now helping them do this, and this, right? You're alluding to something that you have or something even more powerful that you have found. So thankful for my good friend Rob introducing something to me that now I'm no longer dealing with this issue, right? Alluding to now you have found something. That's where the curiosity comes in. So real quick, gratitude, one problem, and a benefit is a power punch of a curiosity post. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, even with gratitude, I was just thinking about it. If you go back, 7 or 8 years ago with, it doesn't matter if you like him or don't like him, with Grant Cardone. He's very ego driven, right? Great content, but just very me, 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 me. Still is. But if you look at his social media content now, you'll notice that the last 3 years he shows several times a week photos with his family. And I think that that goes back to like the whole social media at the beginning was a lot more showy. And now I think people can see through that. People are more savvy social media wise. And so that's the first thing I think of. And then the second thing when you talk about the problem is it's just focus. It's the whole, right? If you try to chase two rabbits, you'll catch neither. I don't know if it's probably like Chinese proverb or something really smart like that. But it's the truth. And too many times, like we're trying to lead everyone to a million different directions. I had to do the same thing. Very first, not even first ebook and then book that I wrote. I had like 7 million directions I was taking people to, and I had to learn to hone it into one focus, right? Because otherwise, you're all over the place and it's just scattered. People aren't sure, and you got to have clarity on which direction they're going and why. So that's what they're focused on. And then alluding to the benefit, I mean, that's what people are always buying. And so when they see that you can help solve a problem, people aren't buying your products because, or services because, you know, it's too expensive. It's all about value. Why do people buy the brand new iPhone? Because they found some sort of value, right? People buy things all the time that they can't afford, and you know you've got incredible products and services that they need that will help them out. So I love it. And the thing I love about this is it's specific, it's laid out. It's not just ideas. These are things that you can follow this formula on a regular basis, on a daily basis, to help you out to go to that next level. So I love how structured it is.
Yes, sir. Love it. Love it. Hope you guys are getting some value so far. Let's keep moving along, right? Want to be mindful of your guys' time. Let's walk you through this process now. So we understand now curiosity and why when it comes to marketing, we want to leverage this way of doing it online, right? To attract more folks to us. Now, the goal of the curiosity post is to get folks to raise their hand, right? To comment, to message you, whatever. They're now giving you permission to share. But there's a huge but here. This is where I see the process being completely broken down for so many network marketers out there today. Here's a quick story, right? My first 5 to 6 years inside of network marketing, I recruited about 50 people in the span of that 5 to 6 years. My last 4 years in network marketing, when we were actively building, recruited over 700. How in the heck did that happen? Right? Okay. I'm about to share with you exactly what I did differently, right? I caught on to this whole thought process of creating curiosity and now controlling the conversation. But the magic came when I got them in Messenger, when I got them on the phone, when I got them in person, and I went through 3 simple qualifying questions before I shared my product or business with them. I'm going to give you guys these exact questions right now. This is literally something you can implement immediately following this training, which I think is going to help your level of conversion with your prospects, of them sitting on the fence and not enrolling to now enrolling and getting started with your product or joining you in business. Okay, so really, really powerful. Again, the number one mistake. People are getting their prospects into Messenger, they're getting them on the phone, they're meeting them in person, getting on a video chat, and they're word vomiting all about their products, their business, and this is a big no-no. This is a big no-no, okay? So here's the secret, okay? You create a curiosity post, they comment, oh my gosh, I like more information or whatever. You say something like, oh my gosh, Rob, dude, I too struggle with that. Hey man, I'm gonna shoot you a message, I can't wait to share more. Simple, okay? Now here's an extra nugget, okay? Point this prospect to your strength. If you feel really confident in Messenger was my jam. I love to just crank out messages in Messenger with prospects. I felt like that was my strength, not their strength, my strength. Maybe you guys who are watching, maybe your strength is on the phone. Point that prospect to a phone call. Maybe if they're local, you're really good at connecting one-on-one. See if they'll meet you for coffee. Maybe if they're across the world and your jam is seeing someone, face to face, get them on a FaceTime, get them on a Messenger video chat or Zoom, whatever. Point them to your strength. Now, once you get them into, let's just call it Messenger for the sake of this example, okay? Instead of initially saying, oh my gosh, here's my product, here's my website, thanks for commenting on my post, go check it out, let me know what you think. Here's a simple segue message, and then I'm going to tell you these 3 questions, okay? You say their name, you say thank you, you create a little bit of excitement and curiosity, and then you reconnect. Here's what that looks like. Hey, Rob, man, thanks so much for commenting on my last post, buddy. Listen, I'm so excited to share a little bit more about what it is I have found, what it is I'm using. But hey, man, before I get into all that, how you been? How's Janaea? How's the kids? Saw you went skiing last week, man. Dude, that looked like so much fun. I've been itching to get out there and go skiing. Like, you got to give me some tips. You see, name, thank you. I alluded to, I can't wait to share a little bit more, but hey, man, before I get into all that, like, how you been? I want to reconnect. I want to reestablish some trust first. This is like 2 or 3 minutes, guys. Do you have 2 or 3 minutes to increase your conversion rate by, through the roof? Of course you do. Then I'll transition into these 3 simple questions. Let me do these 3 questions, and I'll kick it back to Rob, all right? Okay, and we'll finish this up with our closing section of the C3 formula. So question number 1. So I'm chatting with Rob. We're all good, and I'm like, all right, man, listen, back to the post. Appreciate your comment. Let's dig in. But before I share what it is I'm using, I got just a couple quick questions, Rob, okay? I'm just curious. We'll just use the sleep example that we used earlier, right? So I'm just curious, Rob, when it comes to sleeping at night, man, you're obviously struggling. What are you currently using right now to help you sleep better? That's question 1. Now you can kind of put that in your own words. What are you using right now? What are you currently using? Or what have you used in the past to help you sleep better? That's question number 1. You see, I'm trying to get out of Rob what he's using right now. I want product names. I want exactly what he's using, and I want to know, okay? And then he's going to say, oh, I'm using XYZ product, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, all right, man, dude, Rob, I too, back in the days, I actually used to use that product as well. And, it worked maybe at first, but after a little while, it just stopped working for me. So I totally get where you're coming from. Now, question number 2. Next question, Rob, just curious. So I know what you're currently using. What seems to be the biggest problem with what you're currently using? Why is that product not working? You see, I'm directing the conversation where I want it to go. So now I know what Rob is currently taking to help him sleep better. And he's telling me why it's not working. You see, I'm not telling him why he needs my product. I'm not telling him why he needs to go buy my product now. I'm actually, it's a little bit of sales psychology. I'm a psych major, for those of you guys who haven't picked up on this yet. A little bit of sales psychology. I'm asking the questions, allowing Rob to tell me what he's using and why it's not working anymore. So what I'm actually doing is walking him down the path to lead him to believe that what I have is going to be the ultimate solution for him. Okay, last question. How many of you guys have ever dealt with a price objection? I like to tell our folks this. Listen, if you're getting the price objection and a prospect tells you, oh, that's too expensive. Oh, I can't afford that right now. Listen, I got some truth for you. It doesn't matter if your product is 10 cents, $10, $100, $1,000. Doesn't matter what the price is. They're going to tell you they can't afford it because it's just an excuse for them to get out of that conversation. I also like to say that if you do get the price objection, don't get upset at your prospect for being broke. Take responsibility. It's your fault they gave you that objection, not their fault that they're broke. And here is the 3rd question that I want to help you start implementing to avoid the price objection response. Okay, question number 3, back to Rob and I's conversation. So Rob, I get it, man. Thanks so much for sharing that. I get it. I used to use that product. I too used to struggle with the same thing using that product. Last question, man, I promise. Okay, I'm just curious, with the product you're currently using, how much does that product typically cost you each and every month? Or let's say Rob was taking a few products. How much do those products combined typically cost you each and every month? You see, guys, if my sleep product is, $50, and Rob comes back and says, "Oh yeah, well actually, I get my sleep pills from Walmart. I spend probably about $6 or $7 a month on sleep products." You see, immediately now I know that I don't know if Rob's going to be my ideal prospect for my product. He's accustomed to spending $6 a month. Mine is 50. Can I sit here and try to justify why he needs to spend, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10 times more money on my product? That's going to be a difficult road to go down. But if Rob comes back and he's like, "Oh my gosh, man, I never even thought about it. Man, I mean, I'm taking this product, come to think about it, I'm probably spending 40, 50, 60, maybe $75 a month on sleep stuff. I didn't even realize that." You see, now the light bulb's going off in my head saying Rob is a perfect candidate. He's a perfect prospect. Okay, when it comes to that. So now if I can now transition, now here's the key. Now I'm going to transition into, my tool, my resource, my quick video, my whatever. Okay, very simply. So Rob, I'm going to kick it back to you, man. These 3 qualifying questions, we're taught to qualify our prospects in network marketing instead of just jumping right into our product. If you'll insert this simple 3-question qualification process, your guys' conversion rates are going to go through the roof. What do you got, buddy?
I'm going to sum it up. Questions are the answers. And too many times, because of our own insecurities, we jump to conclusions quickly because like scared. What do I do? What do I do? And it's like we're assuming what they think, right? And we have no idea. Fryer and I are still trying to figure out what our wives are thinking. And we've been married for quite some time, right?
Spinning our wheels.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know. So stop trying to guess. So the biggest thing I would just say is this is questions are the answers. Say, I mean, someone says, "Oh yeah, but is that one of those pyramid schemes?" Instead of you being defensive, why would you jump all over them? Yeah, it's pretty easy. No, you're working the real pyramid scheme. You're part of corporate America, right? And it's like, what is that going to do? Instead, you just ask a simple question. What's your definition of pyramid scheme? And they could be, "Oh, well, it's just one of those things where you can build teams and make money." Oh yeah, absolutely. And so now instead of being defensive, yes, just like corporate America, where there's a president, vice president, all that. The difference is you can actually make more money than the person above you. So that's why I feel like it's the most moral form of compensation, because I can build a team. I do get paid off a little bit off of their efforts, but I also can make more than the person above me. So now we're all helping each other. Whereas a lot of times in traditional business or jobs, you don't want to train the person below you to be better than you because they could get a promotion over you. So that's why I love it. So you see, that came off as not attacking, right? I'm pointing out, but it's not like being defensive. And so that's why questions are the answers. And I just love it. I love how it's just I love how detailed you always are, and it's just laid out. I mean, this is exactly what you do. And you're not going to be great at it right away, but now you have the formula of what to do, and now you can just practice this over and over and over and over again. So love it, love it, love it, my man.
So good. So good. Shall we tell them our last part of this C3 formula real quick?
Close.
The close. So this will literally take me, and I'm going to finish up. This is about 60 seconds worth. This last part, very simple. I've got just a simple, what I call transitional question to the close, right? A transitional statement that's going to go from your curiosity post to now you connected with them via messenger, phone call, in person, video chat, whatever is your strength. Remember, now you've got all the data, you've got all the information. You haven't shared your product yet. You haven't shared your business yet. You haven't done anything yet. You don't need to. And more times than not, you're going to figure out that your prospect is ready to freaking buy whatever you got. It doesn't even matter what you have. They're ready to buy. They just told you what they're using, why it's not working, and what they're accustomed to spending every single month. I mean, you're here. You're at the finish line. Now you need to seal the deal. All right. So this last closing statement is very, very simple. Okay. This is the format. I'll break it down here in just a second. So the closing statement is this, right? I might say something along the lines of, "Wow, Rob, man, listen, based on what you just shared with me," and then I'm going to insert the problem that he told me. Let's just say that, he struggles rolling over, every single night, multiple times per night. can't get into REM sleep. We'll just use that, right? Okay. So Rob, man, based upon what you just shared with me about trying all these different products, you're up multiple times per night. You can't seem to get into your REM sleep. Listen, man, I may or may not have something that could help you out. Are you open to learning a little bit more about what it is I'm using now to help me sleep better? If not, Rob, no worries, man. It's all good. And that's it. So the formula is based upon what you just shared. You see, this is why you just asked the questions. He just told you why he's looking for something else. He told you what he's struggling with, right? So this is where you insert that problem. Rob, based on what you just shared about tossing and turning every single night, not being able to get into REM sleep, man, I may or may not have something that could work for you. Now here's that last part. Are you open to learning more about what it is I'm using or what it is I have found? If not, it's all good. This is your transitional statement to the close. Now, lastly, I'll say this. For those of you who have company tools, training resources, a PDF, the quick short video they can watch, this is the time now, right, where if you wanted to introduce that to them, they're like, oh my gosh, yes, I'd love to hear what you're using, what you're taking. You're like, awesome, man, you got 3 minutes to watch this quick video on what it is I'm using. Or if it's the business, right, they're like, oh my gosh, tell me what it is. I'd love to learn how to start making some extra money. Awesome, Rob, you got a couple of minutes, man, just to watch this quick video. Very simple. Now you're plugging into your tools, training resources that your upline, your leadership, your company provides for you. Bam. That's what we got. This is gangster stuff.
I love it. It's so simple. And again, it doesn't make it easy, but nothing worthwhile is easy, but it makes it simplified of this is what you do. And I think too many times we're so scared to close, but at this point, they want to be closed. They've told you that, hey, I need your product, want your product. So now this is where, you go straight into that close. Because I think a lot of times we associate the word close as convincing people to do something they don't want to do. And that's not what closing is. That's convincing. There's a big difference. Our goal is closing. Look at it as just closing the gap. You've closed the gap between questions. Questions are the answers, identifying problems, right? Giving some benefits and solutions, figuring out the price point of maybe a similar product that they're using, right? Now we've created value, and now you just close that entire loop. So it's closing the loop. It's closing the gap is what you need to look at, not convincing people to do something that they don't want to do. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just bringing that all together is it's not practice makes perfect. It's deliberate practice makes perfect. And no matter how well you do it, some will say yes, some will say no. But when you can get over that fear of judgment and start living that life on purpose right now, start living that life like a rich person. What's a rich person? Rich people think long-term, poor people think short-term. That's spiritually, financially, physically, mentally, and in all aspects of life. So you got to be thinking, I know it's morbid, but what would your regrets be on your deathbed? Would you be like, I'm so glad I didn't reach out to Brian because he could have rejected me? No, it's going to be, you wish you would have had even more memories and focused more on what meant a ton to you. This business can provide that for you. So that's why I love it. So my man, Brian, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for providing a ton of value. Thanks all for tuning in to, whether you're watching this as a bonus training or the very first Run with Rob training. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks so much, Betty.